Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name is Beth. If you're new, welcome. Today I'm going to do a small project with my little Featherweight sewing machine. Today I am working with my little Featherweight machine, learning how to do buttonholes and making a small little project for the spool pin plate on the top of my machine. This little project I'm making today is a free pattern that I will leave a link below. You can access it from the Featherweight shop, and it takes just 3 little templates here that I am now drawing onto my cardboard. Needed 1 circle of fabric, but I also needed a small bit of light interfacing. I am using the pattern as a guide, but I am kind of switching around the order of things. So this is the first thing I'm going to do is just put that little piece of interfacing on my circle. This will be the center of my Dresden plate. Now I need to cut out 12 of the Dresden points, and I'll be doing this with my first one. I will be using 12 different red fabrics. Each of those red little fan pieces are folded in half, and then you are supposed to sew across the wider part. After folding it in half, you sew across the top, and then I will be trimming away the corner, opening it up, and that leaves you with that piece of the fan, and then I'll be pressing. Now my fan pieces are pressed, and I have this center piece for the center of my Dresden plate. And after I sew all of my points together, I'll be putting that buttonhole into that center piece. I have all my fan pieces next to my sewing machine, and I'm going to put right sides together, and I'm putting a seam on each side. I'm going to put 2 together, and then I'll put the 2s together, and eventually I'll have all 12 pieces sewn together into a circle. And I did make a mistake when I did this part of this project. These pieces are so tiny that I made a smaller than a 1/4 inch seam. It just seemed like I didn't want to hide too much of the fabric, and the pattern does say to use a 1/4 inch seam. So I'm going to find out at the end why that's important, and I will show you how I ended up, well, I ended up making another one just to show you the size difference. I'm going to make my little buttonhole in my circle here. I'm finding the center with a pencil, and I'll take a pin and poke through. It was easier for me to see the center using that interfacing there. I could kind of visualize the center, so I'm going to poke that pin through and mark the center, and this is where I will put the buttonhole. I'm using the smallest buttonhole template that comes with the set of I think there are 9 different sizes that come with the original set. The pattern recommends the eyelet size, which did not come with this machine. So, and they're hard to find. So I am just using the smallest one, and it seemed to work just fine to use that smallest size template. So first I took the all-purpose foot off of my machine, and now I'm putting this piece on the bottom underneath the needle there. It has a screw, and you just have to be sure that your needle on the machine is oriented right. So after I got this piece almost all the way on, I put my needle down and made sure that it was positioned correctly. Now that I have that bottom piece on securely, I'm going to add the buttonhole attachment here. It's pretty big, but first I needed to make sure that I have the right template inside. So it opens pretty easily, and it comes with this larger screw to attach to the machine. And here's where those templates are, right inside the bottom of this little contraption here, and there is the template that I am using today. After getting that buttonhole attachment on my machine, I'm going to put my circle down and begin right next to that circle. So as you noticed, the buttonhole I'm making is not a perfect circle, but it is a very small buttonhole, and it worked really well with the thread spool holder on top of the machine. It's not too big, it's really nice, and it doesn't take long at all for this buttonhole attachment to make a perfect buttonhole. It was really fun to learn how to do this. I will also leave a link below of another video that I watched to learn how to use this attachment on my machine, and she gave a few more details that I am not giving you in this video. I took a needle and thread and put a running stitch around the outside of my circle. I'll be using that smaller cardboard circle on the inside. I'm going to press the edges in before top stitching it onto my Dresden plate. The last thing I did was I added that circle to the front of my Dresden plate, and I top stitched all around the outside of the circle. Put this beautiful flower on my sewing machine, and I went back and made another one because I did wonder about that 1/4 inch seam and what the size difference would be if I did use a true 1/4 inch seam on this little project. So I did make that second Dresden plate, and it looks a lot smaller than the first one I made. The second one on the left there uses a true 1/4 inch seam, and it fits a lot nicer on the top of my sewing machine here. I do have an older video where I made one of these out of felt with some hand stitching that I think is also really cute. I'll leave a link below. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.